Hi everybody, so we've had Call of Duty Modern Warfare's Warzone for a few days now. We've managed to play a few dozen games, and we can now start to think about, what is Warzone like? How good is Warzone? Is it going to suffer the same fate as Blackout, or God forbid, Firestorm, the Battlefield 5 Battle Royale? Or will it reach the heights of Fortnite or Apex, or will it eclipse PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds? Now, you may know I have already done a video comparing Warzone to PUBG, and basically in that one I came to the conclusion that PUBG at its best, when it was at its best, which it isn't sadly anymore, was king of the hill. And Warzone was very, very good, but one of the problems with it was the time to kill. However, over the last couple of days I've had an opportunity to learn a lot more about how the game plays and the differences in the way it plays and the tactics and the different things you can do. And I've kind of come to the conclusion now that I think this game, as long as Activision and Infinity Ward add in solos and duos and don't mess around with it too much, don't add too many players. I know they're talking about adding 200 players. I think this map could take 200, but that would be about it. I think we've got the definitive battle royale experience here. It really is that good. So if we sort of go through the things that Activision and Infinity Ward have got right about this game, obviously free to play, superb, and it's not pay to win really, because you can't buy better guns. In theory you can't. In reality, the people who have got COD Modern Warfare, the full version, have got a little bit of an advantage, because they will have probably already unlocked and can unlock a lot easier all the guns and all the attachments which you can then take into the game. And it's almost like, in fact, this is what they must have done. Activision and Infinity Ward must have stood there in front of a big whiteboard and said, what are all the annoying things about multiplayer battle royales, and how can we get rid of those annoying things? So you think, okay, so lack of player base. So, well, the best way to do that is to make it free to play, isn't it? So everybody can play it on PC, Xbox and PlayStation, and then have cross-party platform partying up as well. So Xbox people can play with PlayStation people, can play with PC people. Yep, massive tick there. Pay to win. Yep, no worries. We're just going to use a battle pass system, and in the battle pass, basically, you've just got cosmetic items. You can't really buy better guns, even though I've kind of said, you do have an advantage if you do have the game. But as you play this game, you will unlock the guns and the attachments, and you can create the loadout. So that brings on to another thing. Another annoying thing about battle royales is, well, you've always got to pick up the guns, haven't you? And you've got to find the guns, and you never end up with the gun that you really like from, say, a multiplayer. Like in Blackout, you might well find a similar gun, but you wouldn't have it. You couldn't have it, or it'd be very difficult to have it exactly the same way you would like it. Yeah, no problem. In this game, you can get enough money, and then you can call in a special supply drop, which calls in your loadout from the ordinary multiplayer. So that opens up all these different possibilities where you're thinking, all right, so what do I want to take in? What SMG, what assault rifle, what sniper rifle, what DMR, what shotgun, and I can take these into the game. And then you have this idea of money as well. So within the battle royale experience in Warzone, not only do we have last one alive wins, you also have these contracts and different things that are going on at the same time, which kind of mix things up a bit and give you different things to do. So with the contracts, what you can do is you find these little tablets, you activate them, and there's three things you can do. You can either go and hunt down an enemy team and kill one of their members, and obviously you end up killing a few of the other team members then as well, or you can defend like a mini domination area, Or you can go hunting for 3 more supply drops in order. And for doing this, you get rewarded with good loot that pops out of these supply drops, and you get money. And then you go to these buy stations, and from these buy stations, as I see, one of the things you buy is the supply drop that has your multiplayer loadout. In fact, I'm probably about to do it now in this video. You can also buy like a UAV, or a cluster strike, or a airstrike, or a self-revive, or a gas mask for surviving in the gas for longer, or armor plates. And you go, ooh. So you can do all these things, so it mixes up. So as a squad, or as a solo, as I'm trying to play here, one of the things you could do is you can lock down somewhere near one of these buy points and get money, and then defend it if people are coming to it and get more and more money. One of the tactics you see people using as well is they'll go on the bounty hunts for people. And so they'll take UAVs, and you get near where the people are, you pop the UAV, you find them, you kill them, then you go and buy another UAV with the money that you've earned. Very, very, very clever, very interesting, all these different things that are going on, because you've got this absolutely massive map that I think is probably on a scale somewhere between Erangel and Miramar, with all these different areas in it, and it's really good to look at. It runs pretty smooth on my OG PlayStation 4, and it must run absolutely amazing on PC or PS4 Pros or Xbox One X's. And so you've got all this other stuff going on apart from people just coming into the circle, which means the mid game is a little bit more interesting. Then you've got the revive mechanic, where if you get killed the first time, you go to the gulag and you get an opportunity to have a one-on-one gunfight with somebody, and if you win, you spawn back into the game, you parachute down, you've only got your pistol again, but then you go looking for loot. But there's lots of loot all over this map. I mean, there is loads of loot. You can always find stuff. If you die again, then your teammates can buy you back in if they find one of these buy stations and they've got enough money, which is another really cool way of doing things as well. So I think when you combine all this stuff together, the only thing for me that is missing at the moment is I'd probably like to see 4-man squads. I won't lie, 3-man squads, 4-man squads I think is probably a little bit better, just from playing PUBG, and obviously duos and definitely solos. Because I mean, in this particular game here, as you can see, I am trying to play solo, but the problem you have is when you're doing this. I mean, I guess you could argue that going up against squads that are only made up of 3 people is easier than going up against squads of 4, and you'd be right. But then we come on to the armor system. Now, initially, I was a little bit disappointed with the way that they've done armor in Warzone, because they've done it the same way that Apex done it, the same way that Fortnite's done it, and the same way that Blackout did it. In fact, all armor really is more health. So you go from being a person that's got 100 health. So if you put in 3 armor plates, you've got 250 health. Each one's worth 50, sorry. Which means that the time to kill gets quite long. So the way they do it in PUBG, which I think is the best way, is the time to kill stays pretty short, because all the armor does is it just reduces the amount of damage you take. So although you're getting hit by bullets, you're still taking damage to your main health. The armor is just reducing that damage. However, because it's so easy to change your loadout and bring it into the game, you can adapt your guns to really deal with this. So for example, I've got a loadout here which consists of the M4 with a 60 round mag in it. Now 60 rounds is more than enough to be able to take on 3 enemies and kill them all without having to reload, because that's often the problem. You see, you get into a gunfight with somebody in Blackout, and you'll both be firing at each other, and then you've both got to reload, and that can be very, very frustrating indeed. And you also have the situation where, and they haven't solved this, where if say for example you had no armor, but you got the drop on someone who had level 3 lots of armor, and they were facing the other way, so they're facing away, you crept top on them at sort of, say you were 20 to 30 meters away, and you opened up with your AR on them. chances that they probably will have the ability to turn around and shoot back at you and maybe even kill you before you can kill them, because you're trying to knock down the armor. Now it's not quite as bad as that, and I found the time to kill to be reasonably fast. Now I still think it's a little bit too long, and I would like to see them go to the way that PUBG do the armor, but you know, by adjusting my loadouts, I've kind of dealt with it. And the other thing, which I didn't realise as well, was that you can still get one-shot kills with the sniper rifles, even if people have full armour, or one-shot knocks. I guess it's quite funny here. I managed to... I knock one guy, and then I don't hear the other guy coming up the stairs. I just kind of wander around and I'm facing the wrong direction. Watch this. I reload. I've got another 60 bullets. There he is, and I'm pointing in the wrong direction, and he manages to get me. But there we go. That's just experience, kind of with the game. Yeah. So with rifles like the HDR, and there is sniper rifles like the HDR, and there is one other one as well. If you do hit someone in the head, you will knock them. And presumably, when we finally get solos, we're going to get that as we're going to get the ability to still do that, to do the one-shot kills, which is very, very important, which means that loadout where you're running with an assault rifle or a submachine gun and a sniper rifle, which you just get out for those one-shot kill opportunities, is really quite cool. And the final massive tick from me is that even with 150 people on the map is so big that you can play the edge just like you can in PUBG. I mean, I don't know if you've played Warzone, if you played Blackout recently, but the problem with Blackout was it seemed to me, no matter where you went, you were always dropping with other people when they put 100 people on the map. That map just wasn't big enough for 100 people. So even if you jumped to the edge of the map as far as you could get away from the aeroplane, there would still be someone dropping with you, and you'd end up having, you know, a gunfight. And we know the problem with early gunfights in battle royales is that although the technology has got much better, there's a lot of luck involved in those early battles due to, you know, latency and long ping times and stuff like that. With this particular gameplay, I managed to get, I think I get into the top 10, and then I run into a squad and I managed to down a couple of them. But the last guy, I don't manage to get him as I come around a corner. So there we go. My initial review of Modern Warfare 2019's Warzone, and this is just the Battle Royale bit. There's also Plunder, which is really cool as well. Is that this is going to be, has the potential, as long as they don't mess it up, this could be amazing. I mean, it's already really good, and I enjoy playing it an awful lot. And I just can't wait to see what they do. Stick the duos in, stick the solos in, and yeah, absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Cannot wait to play this game more and more and more. Anyway, that's enough from me. Put your questions and comments down below. What do you think? Have you played it? Is the time to kill too long? Do you enjoy running with 3s instead of 4s? Are you gasping for duos and solos like me? Anyway, that's enough, and I will see you again soon.
Moving. zone located.
Moving.
Stand down. Closing in. Gas is moving in. New safe zone located.
Moving up. Heading in.
Loadout drop headed your way.
I'm your driver. Five are still active in the AO. Gas is closing. Get to the new safe zone.